Hey teachers, Doran Christensen here. Today we're looking at Colossians 1 and 2, and this is going to be a fun one. I know I always say that, but it's really true. This is why. As we look at our objective for the day, this lesson can help you recognize forces that threaten your faith in ways you can be more steadfast in Jesus Christ. And so the primary resources that we're going to use to help students be more steadfast in Jesus Christ is an object or a picture, something they're going to draw. They can help students visualize people, places, events, things, and symbols in the scriptures. And this is going to be a great one. The difference with this lesson, though, is we're going to use the drawing all throughout class. So I'm going to offer some tips that I think will increase the likelihood that this will be a great experience, that we can really use what students are doing to talk about and increase faith and steadfastness in Jesus Christ. My first tip that I'd recommend is for you as a teacher, when you're preparing for this lesson, that you actually do the activity before class that you're going to invite the students to do in class. So I'd invite you to get out a piece of paper and to do the drawing and to do the labeling and to do all of that. The reason for this is it changes our perspective. We'll maybe ask students with a little bit more clarity sometimes things. If it was difficult for you to find answers and to label, you'll know that it will be difficult and even more difficult for your students probably. And so you might ask questions a little bit differently or give a little bit more time here or be a little more conversational during this part of the lesson. So be the student first as you prepare for this. Second thing that I would invite, it says draw a picture of your favorite fruit tree. You'll add to it throughout the lesson. Think about how you're like this tree. Right here it says you can invite a volunteer to come up and do it on the board. Since we're going to use this the whole lesson, I would encourage you to invite every student to have this experience. And so if your library has, at the church, has butcher paper, maybe you'd get a little bigger piece of paper for everybody. If not, a full piece of paper, you could consider having crayons or colored pencils. But we want to do this one well. So we're doing a little bit more than just a quick sketching. We're going to use this. And so give students time enough to have fun with it, but to do well because they're going to label. So let them know in advance, I want you to do your very best fruit tree and fill the whole page and let them know that we're going to be labeling different things as we go. So make sure that there's room for that type of thing. You may even want, as a teacher, to let them know that you're going to do that with them during class. So you're a fellow student. That might set a tone of a conversation a little bit more than I'm the teacher and you're the student type of thing. So the first thing is to draw. The first labeling comes in here as students read Colossians 1, 10 through 22, and they're looking for fruits or blessings that Paul describes. As you prepared this, you might have noticed that this was trickier than just lots of verses with tons of answers. So you might want to help the students by saying, for example, let's do one of these fruits together. Fruits or blessing that Paul describes. And so we read verse 10, that you might walk worthy of the Lord unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work and increasing in the knowledge of God. And so go slow enough to say, okay, students, what are some of the fruits or good things that Paul mentioned that we can experience in our lives? And so they might say, good works. And so say, okay, stop. Let's label one of our fruit, good work. Did you see anything else? Knowledge of God, increasing in knowledge. Oh, let's label another fruit. And so you're going to model what to do and then let them know there's a lot of different possibilities. So on your own now, read through the rest of the verses. And just like we did with those answers, label some of your fruit with the different fruits you see in those verses. And so you're going to walk through it and kind of take it slow enough that everybody can have success. And then we're going to share what fruits and what are you enjoying and what do you want to do. Here's where we write a principle. It said study journal. I might recommend this alteration here. If we've got a page and we're inviting students to do a good job, maybe we'd want to put that at the bottom of the page. We're going to want to leave room for dirt and roots. Just remember that. But at the bottom of the page, and this is something they could stick in their journal afterwards. And then if they want to have an experience of memory, they'll have both the tree, all the labeling, and then this principle written. So I might encourage you to use the picture for the principle here. Next thing, we're going to look at roots, but this is actually more about the dirt. And so we're preparing to label those. So as we have students search, looking for what Paul taught about the roots of our tree, we see that the roots are established in the faith, surrounded by Jesus Christ. That's what gives nourishment to the fruit. And so we're going to now label the ground around the tree. And so you're going to do this with the students and walk through it with them. And then you're just talking. So while they're drawing, you can kind of talk. So maybe you sit in a circle this day or whatever it may be, but make this an art workshop where we're talking about increasing our faith in Jesus Christ. So we're talking about what it means to be rooted. And they could draw and label extra things too. If a student shares a good answer, you might want to say, oh, hey, write that note next to the root, or write that by the dirt. I think that's a great description. We've got a couple of examples of videos that could be shown during this part. But here we're going to label the roots. So we're going to draw them and label them. And so attributes that the people have, or actions they take that you feel firmly connected, that connect them to Jesus Christ. Sorry. And so this is another example where I'd say let's do one or two roots together. So you're going to let them draw the roots, and then what did you notice in the video, and what did you find in these verses that we could label as roots that really connect us to Jesus Christ. And so do an example together. Again, if you did this while you're preparing to teach, you'll be more ready to help students because you kind of know what you're doing instead of doing it for the first time. We've got a quote from Elder Oaks, and we're going to finish up this drawing with drawing wind, however you do that, but your students will have fun being creative, illustrating the wind. And so again, we're looking at some verses in Colossians to see some of the forces that they were experiencing. Maybe we could label the wind and talk about the things that try to uproot us, but we're going to be strong because we are rooted in Jesus Christ. I think it would be fun to show each other pictures and talk through it. Maybe that's a final activity is to teach somebody about Jesus Christ using your picture with the tree and having them talk through it. You can invite them to take it home or to share it with a family member and report the next day who you taught and what did you teach. But this is going to be fun. This is a time to relax, to have a different style of learning. Some students will really enjoy this. Others might struggle a little bit, but this is a great different day. Have fun with it.